Gentlemen, what is going on? It is your coach Danny C coming at you live. What is going on, everybody? If you're tuning in right now, hashtag I'm here. If you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay. As you can see, I'm not alone. I got my client, Greg Bornasian. Greg, what is going on? Hope you're doing
Hello.
well.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yes, of course. I appreciate you. I just started this up on Instagram as well. We're live on multiple platforms. So, everybody, if you're watching, Greg's been a great client in the program. He's been consistent, dedicated. And I asked him to come on this podcast because, well, here's the thing. I told him that there are a lot of guys that are watching right now that are struggling with some of the things that Greg was struggling with, right? Loss of motivation, right? Starting a family, being very, busy with his work and just kind of losing that interest, losing that motivation. And Greg's going to talk a little bit about that. So now he's back on track, lost weight, has more energy. He's feeling good. So we're going to get into the podcast and we're going to go from there. Greg, is that cool with you?
Sounds really good. Let's get it going.
Awesome. Let's go. Let's go, Greg. Awesome. All right. I'm going to start this podcast right now. We'll get into the countdown. There we go. 2, 1. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Men's Fat Loss Made Easy podcast, where I'm here to give you the best tips and tricks that you can use on your fat loss journey. Today, we are coming at you live with a special guest star, my client, Greg Bornasian. Greg, what is going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing well, Danny. How are you?
I'm doing good. Better that you're here, man. This is going to be good. I'm excited. And to give the podcast listeners some background, and I was talking to, earlier before we started this podcast, Greg is just an individual that he's really dedicated in his work, starting a family and everything, has young kids, and lost that motivation with exercise and nutrition and was kind of struggling. So I told him, I'm like, there's a lot of guys that are listening to this podcast that are in your position and maybe we can help them out, right? So I'm excited. We're going to just inspire you with his story and let's dive right into it, right? So Greg, let's give the audience a bit of a backstory of who you are first. Let's do that. So how old are you? What do you do for work and where are you from? Let's start there if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure. My name's Greg Bornasian. I'm 33 years old, born and raised in Connecticut. I am married and I have an 18-year-old daughter, or 18-month-old daughter, not 18 yet.
Yeah.
And that's been taking up a lot of my time. And I
Yeah.
work in insurance as an underwriter. And, I pretty much sit at my desk most of the time, do a little bit of traveling for work. And that's what keeps me busy.
Love it. Yeah, appreciate that. So you talked about work and I know that was kind of leaking into that lack of motivation because I know a lot of guys, they have sedentary jobs. They're really not, moving a lot throughout the day. So before, you and I started to work together, that was kind of your problem, just being sedentary and stuck in that, just the work life and putting all your attention onto your, family as well. But before we started working together, what was your biggest struggle in your fitness journey?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a similar story to a lot of guys.
Mm-hmm.
We get up and we start a new diet and we eat healthy and we have our salads on Monday and Tuesday and our grilled chicken. And then by Thursday, there's a happy hour. And by Friday and Saturday, you're either
Mm.
out with your friends or, chasing your kids around. And by Sunday, you've completely lost any traction you had at the beginning of the week. So, it's been a mix for me. I've had some good periods where I can remember 10 years ago doing P90X and doing really well for a few months. And then, whenever it's good for a month, it falls off for 2 months after that. So it's just, I something sustainable and different that I can really carry through as kind of a lifestyle rather than just kind of a fad for a month.
Yes, that's very interesting. And just like you said, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're good. And then the happy hour rolls around and then you're going out, golfing with the buddies, you're chasing around the family and or the kids. And you just want something quick, convenient. The diet falls off. And I totally get that. So with you, you just talked about kind of being on this weight loss roller coaster. So kind of throughout your years, how has that kind of been negatively affecting you? Just looking back, because you're not there anymore. You're in momentum now, but looking back, how is that negatively affecting you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think truthfully, something I've been working on since I got out of college, which is now 12 years ago. And, every year you just look and you're a little bit bigger and you weigh a little bit more each year. And you're like, what's kind of happening to me? And
Mm.
it hurts you, from your confidence standpoint. It hurts when you're looking at pictures of you with your family. You're kind of like, damn,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
But at the same time, you got to keep pushing through and trying to find new things. But you're looking for something that's going to bring you back your confidence and your energy, and just make you feel good about yourself again. So
No, yeah, I love that. 100%. And you've kind of found that out right now. Now you're in momentum because you were in the program, right? But before you and I started working together, you came into the program, but like, what was I'm honestly just wondering because, there's a lot of people watching. They're like, online coaching, not sure this is going to work for me. What was your initial hesitation before really signing up for the program?
yeah, I mean, look, you do a great job marketing on Instagram, particularly for me, and I've seen the videos and some of the success you've had with people. And I would say that my hesitation is probably the same reason that made me do it. I was like, I know Danny.
Mm,
I coached Danny in basketball when he was in
yeah.
seventh grade. I'm like, if
Mhm.
I do, he knows who I am. If I fail, like
Mm,
failed with somebody I know. But at the same time, I
mhm.
was like, I finally, after a couple months of watching your kind of your marketing videos on Instagram, I was finally like, dude, if I'm going to do this, why don't I jump in with somebody I know and I trust? Like, if
Mm,
any bring me to a place I want to be, it's going to be somebody that I know and trust, and will hold me accountable. And that's what happened. So
mm. Yeah.
kind of went
No, I
both ways.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. Definitely. Even going back to the basketball days, right? And it's like we know each other and it's kind of just important to like have that team effort. And I just know you and a lot of guys out there, like it's just about the accountability, right? So you're not really doing this with like a stranger. It wasn't really a program where it's like, all right, here's like 4 months of your program. Good luck. Talk to you at the end of the period. It's like, no, we're actually, in it together to win, right? So does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was for me, it was the touch points every day or every other day. And then I think we had a couple really good long conversations,
Hmm.
too, where we just discussed fun things like favorite protein
Yeah.
bars, or where to buy
Yeah.
a water that will keep me drinking a gallon of water a day, like it was fun, and it is fun.
Yeah. Love it. Exactly. Exactly. So you've been in the program, about like 4 months now, right? And you got those results. And I just want to know and just like share with everybody, what sort of results have we been able to accomplish together in the program?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I, I've lost probably 9 pounds over
Hmm.
those 4 months, and
Hmm.
that doesn't sound like a ton, but if you consider, the protein intake and the weight training, and it's probably more like 15 pounds of fat that I've dropped off, and I've added some muscle
Mm.
on. You
Yep.
know,
Exactly.
that's over. Yeah, I mean, that's probably for you to confirm, but that's what I feel like it is.
No, you're right. Yep.
Um, and that's over 4 months. So like, if you start to do the math out, and I feel like this is really a sustainable um, process, like that'll be 25 months over the course of the year, like, or 25 pounds over the
Mm.
course. And
Hmm.
that's exactly what I was looking for when we talked about goals going into it. It was like, how can I lose 25 pounds? And you've got
Mm.
me right on track to lose 25 pounds over 12-month period. And so,
Mm.
it may not be, the shirtless picture of hey, Greg lost 65 pounds in 3 months, but that
Yeah.
knows that's not sustainable. So
Right.
that's the side of it. But I mean, I think we've looked at pictures and such, and we've seen, improvements in kind of the
Hmm.
physique in my back and in my chest. And, I don't feel like I have as much fat in my face. And these are all things that, like, whether people admit it or not, these are the things you want to see changes. So, and I've seen them. So that's exactly what I was looking for.
Yes, that is amazing. And just like you said, like people want that change. It's just not a lot of people or are willing to really put in that effort. But for you, it's like finding that sustainable plan was so important because I speak to, talk to you and like a lot of other guys out there and they're on this weight loss roller coaster, they're losing weight. And just like you said, it's like a month of consistency and then 2 months of inconsistency, right? And I see that all the time. So just like being able to sustain that and just like you said, over a year losing 25 pounds, that's like perfect. It's sustainable. And just like you mentioned, you're 100% right. Like that's all fat, right? And you see those changes, especially because you're adding muscle to your body. So that's exactly what we want. So I agree with you 100%. So you talked about losing like the weight and you talked about having more energy and stuff, but outside of fitness, like other than the tangible things you talked about like the progress, toning up, like outside of fitness, just like in your life, family life, your work life, like what changes are you seeing because you're really working on your health?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, kind of like I touched on earlier, I feel better about myself when I get up in the morning. There's a purpose and things to do and things to accomplish. I will say it took me a little bit of time to hit my stride on when I wanted to work out and how I wanted to do it. I
Mm,
joined the gym and then I swapped to doing some workouts at home. And finally, I really hit my stride when I decided and I told Emily, I'm going to bring Charlotte to daycare every morning. And right after I bring her to daycare, I'm going to hit the gym every day. And
mm,
well, beyond the workout, like picking up, bringing Charlotte to daycare every day is like a favorite part of my day, and that's
mm,
something beyond the fitness piece, right? That's like
mm,
I'm getting quality time in with my daughter
mhm,
as a result of this journey. So that's
mm.
really cool.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. And just like to cherish those moments, especially like you feel a lot better. You know you're about to crush your workout and like staying in that momentum, you just feel good like as a father probably, right?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Charlotte's got to go to daycare, so now I have to go to the gym. It goes
Yeah.
hand in hand.
I love it. I love it. And like with work and stuff, do you feel, or just like making decisions throughout your day? Because I know you switched up your diet, you're hitting your macros, doing more workouts, so you're more energetic and stuff. Like with like mental clarity and decisions, do you see like an impact on that as well?
Yeah, dude. When you don't roll out of bed to your desk, you've already
Mhm.
taken Charlotte to daycare. You've already been to the gym. You've already maybe grabbed a protein shake. Like you
Mm,
hit the desk ready to go. And
mm,
so I've had much more productive days, longer days, and been better at work and more energetic as a result.
I love it. That is amazing. Good stuff. Yeah, I love the just the fact that like not only you're losing weight, but you're seeing those other improvements. And I know that other guys need that. So for anyone that's listening to this right now, thinking about starting their own fitness journey, like what would you say to them since you were literally in their shoes, like thinking about starting and then you started, you're getting good results, you have more energy. Like what would you say to them? What's your message?
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, Danny, and you're not asking me to do this, but I would endorse your program. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's got to be something that's sustainable, and
Mm,
that's probably been the biggest key. And so, your program, at least I saw it as two parts, right? It's a nutrition side and then a workout side. And I never once with the macro program that you've set up for me felt hungry, which like
mm,
I've done keto and low carb things before, and they work for short periods of time, but you end up
mm,
succumbing to your hunger and your like shakiness, and you just that's where a bad weekend comes, we'll say,
mm,
and so the sustainability has been really key. The fact that I've been able to lose weight and lose fat without ever feeling hungry. I've never had to say, hey, I'm not going to go out with my buddies or have a few beers. Like
right.
all the flexibility is built in, and then on the workout side, it's the same deal. Like the workouts are challenging, but they're not like something where you're going to be knocked out by the end of it, and
Mhm,
and
mm,
up at least for me was four lifts a week and one hit workout a week, and basically the app is so intuitive. It's like, look, Monday is a busy day, or I got a work dinner. Well, then I do my workouts Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday,
mhm,
and you around it. And that flexibility, especially for somebody like myself who's fairly busy, I'm sure there's people more busy than I am, but that's made this so much more appealing because it's achievable. And when something's achievable, it will last longer and it'll become a little bit more of a lifestyle than just a short-term, scam or short-term fix to lose quick weight. This will be something
mm.
that hopefully I can continue for a long time.
Dude, I love that. I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, you know it best. Like we preach that sustainability, right? And in our program, it's not like, you mentioned this before, you didn't lose 65 pounds in 3 months, right? It's like that's why a lot of guys they fail. So just having that sustainability in the program, the workouts, the accountability to nutrition, that's important. And yeah, I really do appreciate that, man. It does mean a lot. You've been doing really good. And as you stay on this path, you're going to hit your goal of losing the 30 pounds and just really, I want to make this a lifestyle for you. Right. So I think just as we stay consistent, that's how it's going to work out. What do you think?
Yeah, dude, I totally agree. I mean, you haven't failed me yet, and we're right on track with where I want to be.
Yep.
So I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you. Awesome. This was great. Do you have like any final thoughts? I want to say thank you for coming on, inspiring all these guys, but do you have any final thoughts? Anything?
No, I mean, I got a lot of friends that are in my shoes. So truthfully, like
Hmm.
if I hear more about what you've done for me, I'm here. Just have them reach out.
I appreciate that, Greg. I'll send them your way. Because just like, we talked about, there's definitely guys that are going to be watching this that need that help, need that accountability. So hearing your story is going to be inspiring. Yep, for sure. Sound good?
Sounds good, man. Thanks.
Awesome, for sure. You can stay right there. Everybody else, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the podcast and listening to the podcast. Follow me on Danny Cavs or on Instagram, Danny Cavs4, and Facebook. That's Danny Cavallero. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you soon. See you, everybody. Greg, you can stay right there, man.
Sounds good.